let's talk about, the segment of the market that probably has suffered the most from that cyclicality, and that's the solar panel makers and those manufacturers. Earlier this year, we saw President Trump put in place a 30% tariff on imported solar panels. However, even in spite of that, taking a lot of this imported supply, maybe making it more expensive, we've still seen solar panel prices decline significantly over this past year as demand has fallen. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's gone on with that over the past year or so?
Yeah. So initially, the idea, at least in theory, the way it was presented, was that the idea behind the panel tariffs that were put in was that it was supposed to create incentive to bring solar manufacturing to the U.S. And frankly, that hasn't happened. I think there were a few projects that were announced, and I know that First Solar is making a big expansion, but they're expanding a facility that they were already doing some domestic manufacturing. Ironically, their solar panels are excluded from the tariffs anyway because their thin film technology they use is not the same monocrystalline, multicrystalline technology that's kind of where the tariffs are. I think Hanwha Q-Cells announced a big plant in Florida that was supposed to add like 1,000 jobs. It was going to be a huge deal. And I think after multiple revisions, what they're saying now is it's going to create like 50 or 100 jobs, and it's going to be completely assembly. So they're taking panels that are still being, or they're taking cells that are still being manufactured overseas, shipping them into the United States and assembling them into panels. So frankly, the tariffs just haven't generated anything like the what was purported to be the job creation and the bringing solar panel manufacturing to the U.S. Now, a couple reasons why that's happened. Probably the biggest short-term reason is the U.S. announced these tariffs early in the year. Close to the middle of the year, China made some substantial changes to its domestic distributed solar policy, which absolutely cratered demand. It's just absolutely cratered demand for panels. And panel prices have just plummeted since then because you have this massive overcapacity. So it's like oil, right? So OPEC has announced this cut of oil because there's too much oil. So the idea is that should, restore some supply and demand. Essentially overnight, we had a massive oversupply of solar panels. Solar panels prices in the U.S. have actually fallen more than the amount of the tariffs because of this massive cut in China's domestic program to add distributed solar. So you can actually buy solar panels in the U.S. today for your house, theoretically, for cheaper than you could have a year ago. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we are. And the end result is you think about an industry that's already fairly a commodity product. Companies like Canadian Solar, Jinko Solar, who are two of the, by revenue, two of the biggest solar panel manufacturers, and the vast majority of their manufacturing happens in Southeast Asia. They sell a commodity panel. It's a low efficiency panel, and they kind of lead on price. And they've had to slash their prices because demand has evaporated in China.